Hi, this is Dave from Slot Car News. I wanted to talk to you today about the connection between the real Cheetah that you see on tracks in vintage races and the Cheetah slot cars. So in late 2011, when I was working for Carrera Slot Cars, Carrera of America, I was talking with I guess he was the second in charge guy at the company at the time. We were at a meeting in the office in New Jersey. We went to New York City and walked around a few toy stores, FAO Schwartz and model store or two, and we came across a Cobra, the Shelby Cobra, a die-cast of it. And the guy that I was talking to from Carrera really liked the Cobra, and he said, well, you know, should we make a Cobra for the U.S.? I said, absolutely yes. And at the time, we didn't want to make only one car. If you make a car, you have to make a running mate for it, so there's no orphan cars. And he said, well, if we make the Cobra, the Shelby Cobra, what car do you want to make with it? And I said, we have to make the Cheetah. At that time, there was no 1/32 scale Cheetah available in the market anywhere in the world. Carrera had done the 1/24 scale Cheetahs that you see here a year prior to that, and they had sold really well. And so we decided to go with the Cheetah and the Cobra. So in 2012, we released the number 14 Cheetah, and we released a red car as well, and then we released two Cobras. We released this one, the red one, and a Le Mans Coupe, the white car with racing stripes up it. And to get these cars as authentic as possible, we decided that we would talk with the Bill Thomas family, the Thomas family, again, to get their approval to do the 1/32 scale car. They had already given their blessing to do the 1/24 scale cars, but there really wasn't a firm kind of agreement between Carrera and the Thomas family to do the Cheetahs and then to do them in 1/32 scale especially. I wanted to, as much as possible, tie in the Thomas family with the Cheetahs that we were going to do, because I not only wanted to do the cars and sell the cars, but I wanted to do marketing events as much as possible to get the real cars with the slot cars, because that's really my whole, that's for me, that's the ultimate tie-in, is to pair the real car with the toy car, so there's a direct connection between the two. And for the real Cheetah, there is an especially tight connection between the Cheetah slot cars that have been made and the real Cheetah racing cars. Now, the Cheetah was a real racing car that some folks who are racing fans probably know, and definitely slot car fans know what a Cheetah is. But it was a unique racing car. It was unique in many ways. One of the ways is it didn't have a drive shaft. The wheelbase of the car was so short and that they couldn't put a drive shaft. So the car was, the motor, the engine, the transmission was connected directly to the rear differential. As I hear it told, I've never seen it myself, never seen under a real one. I've ridden in a couple real Cheetahs or the continuation cars, and I've seen lots of Cheetahs. Anyway, so it was a really unique car, really unique real car. The real Cheetah had a fairly short real racing history, and you all can look at the websites. There's a great Wikipedia page. And there's a really great website that's the official website that is operated by the Thomas family, BillThomasMotors.com. And on that website, you get the whole truth. You get the whole history directly from the family, because I think this is really important. There are a lot of Cheetah websites. There's been some controversy around the Cheetah brands and continuation cars who actually owned the intellectual property of the Cheetah and the real cars, as well as the intellectual property connected, even the property of using the trade dress of the Cheetah, the brand, the logo of the Cheetah with the slot cars. The real racing Cheetah's history ends, and then the slot car history kind of takes up after that. The slot car, which was made by Cox in 1/32 scale and 1/24 scale, as well as by other companies, but mainly by Cox, because that was one of the ones that was officially worked on with by the family, by the Thomas family, by Bill Thomas himself, Bill Thomas Jr., and they really were involved with the development of that car, the slot car. They have, from what I understand, a case of the Cox Cheetahs still in the box, never opened. For the slot car folks out there, that's like, people would freak out to hear that, because a Cox Cheetah is kind of one of those unobtainium kind of toy cars that you have. So when the slot car, the Cox car, and the other slot cars kind of picked up where the real racing Cheetah left off, that kept the Cheetah name, the Cheetah mythology alive in racing, the zeitgeist. And it kept people thinking about the Cheetah over the years, from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, even to the present day. People know what a Cheetah is partially because of the slot car itself. You can't really overstate this. Don't take my word for it exclusively. I talked with Bill Thomas III, the Bill Thomas that I worked with to get the approvals for these slot cars. I talked with Bill, and he and his family directly credit the slot cars at the time, specifically the Cox cars, with the Cheetah, like as a brand and as a real racing car, kind of living on in people's memories and kind of in people's, what they think of as a really cool classic race car. So the slot car really helped keep that legacy alive, and especially for the family. So when we decided to make, let's get this Cobra out of here. When we decided to make the Cheetahs for Carrera in 1/32 scale, the family was directly involved. We got them to approve the shapes. Now, they had already approved the 1/24 scale cars, but we wanted to get the 1/32 scale cars correct as well. They were involved, the family was involved directly with getting the shapes correct, getting the liveries correct, the colors correct. They had the first right of refusal, so to speak, on getting the decorations correct on the cars, the placements of the decals on the cars correct. They would see the plans that we had at Carrera when I worked for Carrera Slot Cars. They would see those plans months ahead of any announcement to the general public. When the cars were released, we would give them I forget exactly how many cars I would send them, maybe a case of cars, maybe 6 or 12 cars a year, and then we would send them a slot car set. I tried to send them a slot car set every year then while we were working with them, because they have a big family and they like to slot car race. They're real racing fans, of course. I mean, for God's sake, they made the Cheetah. And they go to a lot of vintage races. They're very involved in the Cheetah community. The Cheetah still lives on in the Evolution Cheetah cars. They're continuation cars, yes. So they're continuation cars, but the Cheetah community doesn't look at them kind of in, and it's kind of hard to put this, in like a derogatory kit car way, the way some companies that make kit cars are seen by the people who own the real cars. So the people who own a real Cheetah, and there are very few of those still around, or a BTM Cheetah, or the continuation cars, they're all kind of in the community together. They all support each other. They all know each other. And they really, it's important to them to keep the Cheetah legacy kind of going. They all know the folks in the family. The family are great. I've known them for years. I just talked with Bill Thomas III it was a couple weeks ago, actually, and they're really great folks. They've been very, very supportive of the slot car that we had done with Carrera. The Carrera car, especially in 1/32nd scale car, was the only slot car that was actually approved by the family. No other modern car was actually approved or blessed by the family. We took great pains to have the family involved in the entire process. And they really welcomed us into the community. The people that own the real cars, the real Cheetahs, most of them do have the slot cars. I've known quite a few of the folks that own the real cars, and I've given lots of samples away to them when I had worked with Carrera. Obviously, I don't work with Carrera anymore. I got one of these really great shirts years ago. I wear it as much as I can. So in this video, I wanted to tie together the real cars as well as the slot cars, because I think there's not really, when you're talking about, you know, the legacy of a real racing car, it lives on, yes, as a real car, but it also lives on in the toys. And in this case, there's a very, very specific, very deep tie between Cheetah slot cars in general, all of them, and the Cheetah real car. So I appreciate you all watching this video. If you like the video, please subscribe. Please hit the like button underneath. And I appreciate you all stopping by for this latest edition of Slot Stories.